15 minutes, 12 seconds remaining here in this practice session for the Xbox One X 174 here at Armory Digital Superspeedway under the lights in the main NASCAR series. And this will be the 4th race of the season. And as you can see, the cars out on the track right now, we have a 6-car field thus far. Right now on top of the board is David Alvarez in the 68. In second place, we have the 15 of Kurt Scott. In third place, we have the 24 of Sean Fay. And fourth, we have the 88 of, I think that would be Rob Evans. I'm not sure. I think that might actually be Johnny Gardner. Yes, number 88, Johnny Gardner. The 53 of someone else, someone new. And I think it's actually, go to the entries here. We have the 53 of Aiden Fife. And lastly, we have Adam Harrington, the number 20. And it looks like he's not connected right now. Hopefully, he'll be able to come back in due time. But enough chit chat about the race itself. Let's look at the cars as they make their ways around the racetrack. There's Sean Fay in the number 24 Exalta Chevrolet Camaro. Kurt Scott, who just wrecked out and just went away. There is, and I think, Adrian, I want to say. Aiden, okay. I'm not exactly accustomed to that name. He just joined, I think, tonight, and he will be starting out his season in the number 53 there. Can't exactly tell what the sponsor on that Ford Fusion is. Barstool Sports on the side, and he's got Sirius XM on the bottom. Got a bit of right side damage, but nothing quick restart can handle. And right there is Johnny Gardner in the number 88 Chevrolet Camaro. They're in the Valvoline ride. That's a very cool looking paint scheme. Oh, and of course, Kurt Scott. Don't have his paint scheme on file, as always, in the number 15. That seems to be the only 3 cars that are here right now. So we might get some other people here, but we'll have to see within the coming minutes. We have 12 minutes remaining in this practice session. And we're ready to get this thing underway, hopefully. We've got people coming out here to try to make their best laps. Right now, of course, it is the 68 David Alvarez up on top of the leaderboard. So we'd like to thank everybody for coming out here on Twitch to watch the race here, as practice is getting underway right now. 11 minutes remaining, 11 and a half. As you see, Kurt Scott and Johnny Gardner making their way out onto the track through this pit exit section here. Very detailed track here, especially for one that's custom made. Of course, made by Armory Digital, makers of NR2003 content. You can see that there's a lot of detail put into this track. This is the night version. There is a day version, which was run in the NASCAR Classic Cup Series, I believe. So here you see the nighttime. This track is kind of a mixed match of tracks we have here in turn 1 and 2. Something similar to Indianapolis, but there's a bit of a straightaway here that goes into a turn once again. There's the back stretch and around turn 3 and 4. It's like your standard Talladega, Daytona type thing. And right here, there's a bit of a dog leg in place of what would be a tri-oval, which is Lake Phoenix. So this is a 2.6 mile oval, just a bit shorter than Talladega, but bigger than Daytona and Indianapolis, I believe. Pit road speed is 65 miles per hour. The track is made by NASCAR. This is the 2014 version. And once again, this is the Xbox One X 174. And the turns are banked 33 degrees, so just about what Talladega has those banked at. As you see right now, the 88 making its way over to the front stretch here. Yet another lap behind, close behind, Kurt Scott. He's getting pretty feisty on that back end there, though. Might want to be careful. And of course, practice is always just a session to get your car tuned up, get it to where you want it to be. Usually, happy hour would be where you make your final adjustments, but we will be doing pre-race ceremonies during that time. So it's mainly just known as a bathroom break for the drivers, essentially. There's Aiden Fife, and then number 53 in the Barstool Sports Ford Fusion. I think that's the first Ford Fusion that we've had on this field in the main NASCAR series. There's a Toyota Camry there. The number 20 of Adam Harrington. We have a scheme on file for today. AMD on the back there. Not sure what the primary sponsor is. We'll have to look at the camera. Wax tire. Let's look from a different angle here as he comes whizzing by. I believe that is turn... Yes, that was turn 2. Yes, turn 2. Very detailed track, and I'm surprised that with how limited NR2003 is with polygon counts and stuff, that this track is even able to run very smoothly on many computers. I've had trouble running the main NASCAR series race cars on here before, so it's kind of a miracle that this is working out as well as it is. There's Sean Fay, whizzing around turn 2, going down the back stretch, and the connection whizzed out. So it looks like David Alvarez is also disconnected. Adam Harrington is back. And Kurt Scott just left again. And David's back. He is now reconnected. Welcome back, David. And man, the internet is just having fun with this connection, isn't it? There's the 20 coming back out onto the track. And the 24 will be making a by him. You'll be able to see here. There he goes. $195 miles per hour. Compared to his 181, that is a 15 mile per hour difference. So he'll definitely have to step it up here as Sean goes down into the corner at 195. And it looks like we only have 3 cars on the track right now. Aiden Fife there in the number 53, the rookie. As his internet connection also whizzes out. As he heads down the backstretch. Starting to wonder if this is even an internet connection issue. It's very odd. There's David Alvarez in the number 68, who's leading this field by a matter of what looks like 4/100ths of a second over Kurt Scott in the 15. Those two seem to have it made in the series here, as they've been dominating pretty much in CCS, M&S, and all the others. And he spins out. going down into turn 3. Yep. Restarts, and he's going to go out once again. There's Scott and Adam Harrington. Looks like they might partner up here. Adam seems to be having a bit of a setup issue here because he is not running very well. He's almost a full second behind the number 53, Baden. So it looks like the top 3 are the only ones that are really close to each other. The others are separated by a second or less. So that'll be interesting to see. There's the 24, Sean Fay. Looks like they're going to have a pit party here, and they're going to all come out at the same time. Let's watch from this camera as they come out. You got a 5th car back there that's coming in. And you never know. I think the 88 would be able to do just fine if he gets into the draft a bit, but the other 2 might be ones to be concerned about because they might not be able to catch up with that kind of speed up to the back. We'll be able to see here with Adam Harrington, who's last on the leaderboard right now, if he can catch up with all these guys. Going on board here with Sean Fay as he makes his way down through the dog leg into the front stretch. Yet another lap. On to his 24th lap, which is going to be his number 68. Adam seems to be moving along. He and the 24 have been side by side ever since they left the pits. There's David Alvarez looking down to the inside of the 15. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in this practice session. That time we'll be able to get into the racing. Again, we'd like to thank everybody out here on Twitch watching the live stream for the running of the Xbox One X 174 and Armory Digital Superspeedway. Later on tonight, we have the Spree Altered Slugfest, the NR2003 Bloomington, distance 30%. So be sure to check that out after this race, about an hour after that finishes up. Coming off of turn 4, down through the dog leg. Looks like guys are able to make good runs on the outside. We've seen that with the 24 and the 68, just how they're able to pull up. And the 20 has lost the draft, I think. Isn't even on the race course anymore. Although he was able to get a 48.949, so that is definitely an improvement over his 52nd lap. So maybe he will have a chance today. You see the top 3 right here, all in a group together. 68, 24, and 15. Almost in practice order. As we have under a minute to get this practice session done. The 24 moves up on the outside once again. Try to make a run. Can't do it. This might be the final lap. Make the final complete lap. Oh wow, there's a lot of bumps there in the small straightaway there in the turn between turns 1 and 2. There's a big bump when going up onto the straight and when you're going into the corner once again. And so drivers will have to be mindful of how they approach that in this race. Johnny Gardner there in the number 88 has a very snazzy looking paint scheme there. as well as the 53 paint scheme. There's Adam Harrington back out on the racetrack again. Looks like we got everybody out here just before the end. And practice is over. And it looks like they'll be able to make one more lap here. 198 miles per hour going into turn 2 here. What fast race cars we got here tonight. Sean Fay's been a little bit down on his luck so far this season. Hopefully he'll be able to make a comeback here today and get a super speedway win. That'd be pretty good. David Alvarez has also been pretty looking forward to get his first super speedway win for this series. And maybe it could happen tonight. And Kurt Scott moves up onto the leaderboard right at the last second. We'll see if it changes here. And the 24, Sean Fay, goes up onto the leaderboard. The 15 drops to 5th. All those guys ran their fastest lap times that last lap. Oh, and they all wreck out. Wow. And a huge wreck there to end off this session as we're about to move into qualifying. What a crazy wreck that was. Alright, now it's the time for us to just look at the track and admire the scenery, I guess. We'll take a look at the top left there as the results come in as they make their laps around. We won't be able to see the cars, but we will be able to see the times as they come in real time. Alright. Let's actually look back at the whatever happened there at the end of practice. See if we can check it out. He just disappeared right before they came up on him. Alright. Time should be coming in here real soon. Let me look out here. After this, we'll be getting the pre-race ceremonies underway, and then we'll be able to get the race underway here at Armory Digital. Not much to say about this event right now other than just watch the leaderboard. And these guys should be coming out around the same time as each other, so once one time comes in, you'll soon see the rest follow. It's like a domino effect, in a sense. And the first time is in, the 52.268. Yeah, that's definitely not going to be enough. 48.207 for Sean Fay, and he's out on the leaderboard still as everybody, man, first one to break the 49 barrier, and the rest were running 50s. Oh, and David Alvarez takes it right back, 2/10 ahead with a 48.045. We'll see what they can do for the second lap here. We'll see if Sean can take it back, as he was the leader of the practice session. They're actually going to cut it close here. We're almost done with the qualifying session. We got about 58 seconds left before that's over. Oh, Sean Fay takes it back with a 48.004. Everybody's making their times up. Will the 68 get it? I think that'll be his final time. So, it looks like Sean Fay. Oh, no, the 68 took it back right at the last second. A 47.8 9.58. David Alvarez will be your pole sitter for tonight. What an incredible battle for the pole position. That wasn't all drivers. I think this is the first time we've seen this. All drivers have qualified. Wow. So there you have it, folks. There's David Alvarez out in front as we're about to go into pre-race ceremonies here. And the 68 is definitely happy about his results there. Sean Fay, I mean, even though you got second, I mean, that must be pretty good for him. But anyhow, we're here for happy hour, and now it's time to come down to the infield as we get ready for pre-race ceremonies.
And now, for the invocation. Take two. And now, for the invocation. Third and final take. And now, for the invocation.
Let us pray. Our Father, we praise you today for a beautiful weather to go racing. Lord, we thank you for loving us only as you can love us. Lord, we pray for the protection of all the drivers and the pit crews today. And Lord, we pray that you will protect our military men and women that protect our great nation. And may we always remember, in God we trust, for it is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
And now, for the singing of our nation's national anthem.
There you have it, the invocation and national anthem. Looks like we had a little bit of technical difficulties with the robot there that did the invocation and stuff, but luckily we got everything under control. We got the invocation and we also got the national anthem in. Last week we had saxophones and this week we had trumpets, so I guess we're just following that brass section trend here. But anyhow, we are 1 minute and 23 seconds away from the running of the Xbox One X 174 here at Armory Digital Superspeedway under the lights as we get ready for this race. And like I said, we have the Bloomington race here right after the main NASCAR series, so definitely tune into that for the Supreme All Dirt Slugfest. So we don't have too much left to say here. Pretty much we just hope for a good race here. It's a super speedway race, so we should see a lot of action going on. And we'll see here if we can look at what laps we got. The race length is going to be 68 laps. So that'll be That'll be good for them. And it looks like weather isn't really going to be much of a factor, but we will look at that once the race section starts up. So there you have it. Everybody just discussing their setups and everything. Alright, we're almost there. Happy hour is about to end right here. 2 seconds remaining, but of course, yeah, the complete section also has to start up, and that'll be 20 seconds, so really we have 10 seconds remaining. I've even seen where it's restarted at 10 seconds again, but we'll have to see. See? I told you. Alright, now we're good. Alright. Now, let's take a look at some of the race here.
To your car.
So, we're going to have 68 laps here for this event. The weather is clear at 58 degrees Fahrenheit with northeast winds at 5 miles per hour. And we have 6 cars out here to start this race, and David Alvarez will be your pole sitter. So, we got 32 seconds until the race begins. And we're going to go down to the pits here where we're going to get the command in just a bit. As we look at the field right now, everybody on the grid now. David Alvarez first, Sean Fay second, Kurt Scott third, Johnny Gardner fourth, filling in for Rob Evans, I assume. Adam Harrington will be sixth, and Aiden Fife will be fifth. I think I got that right. Yeah, I did. Alright, and here we go. It's time for the most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines.
Roll off. There you see them going through the tunnel here as they're going to make their way down onto the back stretch. All the cars lined up, double file, as they get ready to get this race started. We have the helicopter cam out here, as always. TV1 as always. TV2 as always. Spectator. We also have the 2 pit lane views. We have cockpit. We have chase. We have far chase, rear chase, roof, front, rear, left side, right side, and the helicopter once again. So we got plenty of angles to show you all the action here and the excitement. Capture it all for you at home. Glad you're with us here on Twitch for the Xbox One X 174 at Armory Digital Superspeedway. As they head down towards turn 3 here, we're just about to get this thing started. We've got our 6 drivers lined up, and hopefully it'll be a tight race, but a clean race nonetheless. Hope you'll enjoy this broadcast just as much as we do here up at the booth. The 53 is now gone. He has left this plane of existence. Nope, he's back. Alright, we're good. We thought a UFO abducted him there, but nope, he's here just in time to go racing. And the pace car makes its round off. We're about to get this thing started. And now it's just about time for arguably the second most famous words in motorsports.
There's no more. This is the most fun racetrack you'll ever come to watch a race, to drive a race, to be a part of a race, and we're getting ready to go green. Green flags in the air. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Sean Fay got a huge start as they made their way through, but the 68 moves to the outside as they head down for the second lap. David Alvarez is going to try to take his position back, but it is Sean Fay who stays out in front, and there's the third place spot in the practice session there. Kurt Scott making his way up to the top two, and he'll be here running for contention. Fourth place, we have Johnny Gardner, Adam Harrington in fifth, staying close behind with those guys up in front. And Aiden Fife back here in sixth place. Here comes the 68, David Alvarez, underneath the 24, and also comes Kurt Scott. Off of corner number 4, going down into lap 3 this time. Behind. Alvarez leading this pack. Arguably the fastest one here. Kurt Scott trying to keep the 24 at bay. Remember, Kurt Scott Motorsports and Sean Fay are in cahoots with each other. Not necessarily teammates, but they do share setups and engines and whatnot that teams usually have with each other. So you might see some competition between them. Side by side coming off of turn 4. Sean Fay looking to regain second, and he does. Sean Fay back to second place. Now it looks like the start of the race here. Pretty much everybody in their starting positions except for 5th and 6th. As 5th and 6th actually start to lay back just a bit. They aren't up there with the leaders just about. And Sean Fay is right up against the back bumper of the 68 as they go down the back stretch. Looks to the outside. He's got him run going into 3, but will it stick? The inside lane is usually the preferred lane around these super speedways, and it looks like it's no different here. Sean Fay back to the line. But that helped out the 15. All that side-by-side action broke up the draft, and that allowed the 15 to pull right on up. Off of corner number 4 through the dog leg and past the line, moving into lap 5. Kurt Scott looking to the outside just a bit, going to try to get a good run here going into the apex. Sean Fay still there in second place. Let's see what he sees as he goes down the back stretch. All the way down the inside line there. 68 trying to protect whatever he can. Keep those guys behind. Ooh, not a very good corner there for Sean, but he gathers it back up. 15 of Kurt Scott looks to the outside once again. Dives low going down into the front stretch once again. But these guys have a lot of racing left. And the 20 of Adam Harrington has retired. Not sure what's all about that. Maybe it's that he wasn't very confident in his setup. But looks like he'll be getting a 6th place finish today, which is unfortunate. And there is Aiden Fife there in the 53. Unfortunately not having the best start, as he is still back there in 5th position, 16 seconds behind the leaders. Johnny Gardner can say the same about that. And Johnny Gardner, next week will be his birthday weekend, so he will be up here in the booth with me, and we'll be commentating races during that weekend. So look forward to that. Looking back here at our leaders, Kurt Scott still trailing behind David Alvarez and Sean Fay. We'll go on board with him as they go through the Indianapolis-style turn. Climb onto the back stretch. Lost a little bit of ground there. 24 trying to find any way he can to get around the 68. I don't think that there's any pass below the double line rule, but if there is, I guess he's just trying to obey it. Seems like that Sean can't really get much of a run anyways. He's able to stay on the back end, but he's not able to get any sort of run that challenges him. Looks like they're not following very close behind, or at least they're not following in a straight line, and that's really hurting the performance of these cars. But it's no matter. The 24 continues his run on the 68. Man, that turn 2 just seems to mess up everybody getting down into it. That bump there really sends the cars up onto the top part of the racetrack. And now they're heading on to this really steep 33-degree banking on board. Looking from behind, David Alvarez's car as they go down. Ready to take lap number 9. Take lap number 8, really. Starting lap number 9. Now watch this apex. You want to watch the 24 go up the hill here just a bit. And you can see there with the 24, he just gets up a little too high there going down in that dip. That can really affect these cars, how they handle. There you see the tunnel there. Guess you could call this the tunnel turn. Kind of like Dover. As they whiz on by, coming out of turn 4, the 24 is able to stay right on the back bumper, just not able to line up enough to make a run. Or maybe that's part of his plan. Maybe he doesn't want to get a run right now. It is a bit early to make moves like that, and they are getting a little bit dicey there. Look here at the rear right there, only separated by 7/100ths. Getting across the line there. Ooh, the 24 hit the apron. Doesn't look like he got too loose. He stays in the gas and still hangs on. The 15 of Kurt Scott is really the only one who's not been able to stay too close behind. Maybe that's part of his plan right now, just trying to distance himself. Not really trying to get into huge battles here. Kurt Scott is becoming one of the finest restricted plate race car drivers that we've seen out here. Won the season opener for the NASCAR Classic Cup Series. If I'm not mistaken, I think he won another Superspeedway race. He did win the 2-mile. He did win the 2-mile race in California, which isn't a restricted plate race, but it is over 2 miles, so it is technically a super speedway. Driver himself. Just a bit of an issue with his internet connection, but I mean that's pretty much everybody here. And now it looks like all 3 of those guys are all pretty much the same distance apart. Sean seems to be looking for some way to get underneath the 68, and that's cutting off the draft just a little bit, and each time he does that, it allows the 15 to pull up once again. You see, he's bobbing and weaving there, and it's not creating a perfect draft. He's able to stay behind, but it's allowing that 15 to pull up easier. That's something you'll have to keep an eye out for as they continue on through, and there he goes to the outside. They're trying to make a run on him. He doesn't want the 15 to get under, and he's able to slip on right down into the bottom. I think that the 15 let him in. So I don't think that he wants anything to get screwed up here. There's Aiden Fife in the 53. A very good start once again. 38 seconds behind the leader. And probably more as he will come around the line here in just a bit. He'll probably be lapped here before you know it. As we have moved into lap 13. Right up there, going into turn 3, that is the number 53. So you can expect within a lap or 2 them to catch up. And hopefully, not something that happened on the practice session that we saw, that big wreck at the end. Hopefully a recreation of that doesn't happen. So, we're just about 14 laps into this race. David Alvarez still out in front, the pole sitter. Pretty much 1, 2, and 3, the same as they were qualified. These guys staying really close to that That blue line. And it's very interesting that this is a double blue line, not a double yellow line. It's a bit hard to adjust to that because most of the lines are yellow usually, or white. This one is blue, just like the walls. The walls similar to the Phoenix walls. How they're that light blue. It's very nice under the lights. It gives it a lot more of a glowy feel. It's definitely a different change from other racetracks. In fact, I think the biggest track that I can think of that has colored walls would be California, which is a blue, but it's a bit of a darker blue. And they're catching up on the lap traffic here. Hopefully the 3 stays his ground. Catching up on him in a hurry. That's not good. Don't do that. And he's probably going around. Oh no, but Kurt Scott is around. Yeah, Kurt Scott and the 24. Oh man. And the caution is out. David Alvarez. I knew that was going to be a tricky part there, but oh man. And heartbreak coming down the dog leg here. Wow. Aiden Fife, of course, the rookie in this one, or at least the latest rookie to the main NASCAR series. Kurt Scott there in the 15. There's Sean Fay. It looks like he might have a tire down or two. Well, let's look at what happened. He's just blocking everybody here, and he's many miles per hour slower than those guys. And the 68 got into him, and he checked up, got into the 24. The 15 tries to avoid the 53, got up into the 24. I don't know if the 24 got any damage after that. The 15 goes up in the air. Doesn't look like he got too much damage out of that deal, but the 53 is going to come around, and I think he's going to make a bit more contact here. And, oh yeah, ooh, that is a hard hit for the 24. Check on the board here with Sean Fay. Just see the action start to unfold. Just barely nudged the wall then. There's got to be hard going from the banking to the flat, but might be okay. And there you see the cars that made it through. Johnny Gardner, number 88, looks like he will be the leader. He did not go down pit road. And I think the rest have. Aiden there getting some repairs. Sean Fay looks like he's all done with repairs. Or at least all the repairs he can make. Looks like we're going to have more contenders going down pit road here. David Alvarez and 88 of Johnny Gardner all going down. Let's check out on board with David Alvarez as he gets his pit stop. So they make their way down. See what we get here. Might be just a 4-tire stop. And they slow on down. Is he too far back? Yep, No, I think he was just getting fuel. Looks like that was just a fuel stop. Maybe a wedge or track bar adjustment. And he's off. Number 53 goes another lap down. Looks like he's being towed. No, probably not. He's just getting repairs. Tough break for the rookie. John Gardner there. Number 88 making his way around the carousel. The pit carousel. Sean Fay. Looks like Kurt Scott will be the one leading this field when they restart the race. As we are now 1/6 of the way to the end. Looks like the 24 is going to go down pit road this time. That and maybe Kurt Scott. Nope, looks like he'll stay out. And the 24 will stay out. Okay, well, I thought they were going to go down pit road together, but now they'll just stay on the apron. Well, coming up on lap 19 here, the Xbox One X 174 here at Armory Digital Superspeedway. Once again, I want to remind everybody that right after this race, just about an hour afterwards, you want to tune in to this Twitch channel once again for the Supreme All Dirt Slugfest Menards 165 at Bloomington Raceway. 30% distance. It should be a fun one. The Dirt Series seems to be one of the most exciting ones along with the Truck Series, so be sure to tune into that after the conclusion of this race, about an hour after. Looks like the 53 is just staying on pit road, not sure what he's doing. In contention for the win. The 88 has been slowing down slightly throughout the race. So we might just have 3 cars still in contention. One of which technically doesn't have any damage right now, or at least not much, would be the 68. And we don't know if that damage to the 24 is going to affect this car or not, so we'll see her on the restart. Alright, pace car is off. Ready to get the restart. Kurt Scott's going to lead them down in the 15 as they head through the dog leg. Here they come down for the line. And they speed up. Green flag is out. Seems like everybody's able to stay in line together as they go through the turns. 68 David Alvarez seems to have the best car right here, and he's going to go up on the outside of the 24 of Sean Fay to try to take second place. Will it work for him? We shall see. 88 Johnny Gardner trying to keep up behind, and the 68 moves up into second place. Now he sets his sight on the 15 of Kurt Scott. Down the front stretch, side by side as they come towards the line, and it will be the 68 out in front. David Alvarez keeps his position, but the 15 fights back on the bottom. Don't think that's going to do much. The 68 might get him here going into turn 2. On the left side here. He is clear of Kurt Scott. David Alvarez takes his lead back. Four-car field right now. 68 still doing well. The 15 phasing out of existence. Sean Fay in third place. Johnny Gardner in fourth spot, still hanging on tight with the lead pack. We'll see if it stays like that. Moves up to the outside of the 24, trying to make a run. Can't do it. Moves back to the bottom. Back of David Alvarez's car. He makes his way through turns 3 and 4. Kurt Scott trying to follow behind. Looks like that damage really just didn't do those guys any good. Sean Fay stays in third, however, in front of Johnny Gardner. We'll see how long that lasts. David Alvarez, we'll see if anything happens to him that would lead to his demise. But so far, David Alvarez, the dominant car of the day. As we move into lap 23 here, Kurt Scott still in contention. He's not able to catch up to him, but if they get a late restart, he might be able to make something happen. Very wide turns here at Armory Digital. Off of corner number 4, Kurt Scott is moving up on the 68, it looked like there. We'll see as they come by the line just how close he is. Only lost about 100th of a second there. So he is able to stick with that 68 in the draft. Let's see for how long though. Johnny Gardner. Might be able to make a run here on the outside. Ooh, that was close. Watch this battle as it goes on. Not able to hang on. The 24 has the inside lane advantage. Always leaving that bottom up though. I would have gone down to the inside if I were him, but he didn't. Side by side as they come towards the line. I think he'll get it right there, Johnny. Man, if that was the finish, that would have been a pretty close one there, but looks like the 88's going to fall short again. Kurt Scott still hanging on behind in second place. Doesn't look like his car was too affected by that. He's pretty much back where he started with the beginning. But again, the 68 could have some issues go on. We'll just have to see. I believe the 53 is AFK right now. He's still in his pit box. So, David Alvarez continues his lead. Most likely will get the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. As I think we have a battle for third, and Johnny Gardner has taken third back. And it looks like it will stick this time. as the 24 of Sean Fay holds on into 4th place. Like we were talking about before, tragic luck for the 24 of Sean Fay. Hasn't had the best results, not the best results that he could get. And right now, looks like that luck will continue. Very unfortunate day for him so far. Night, I should say. Johnny Gardner, the number 88, hanging on 3rd. And there's the 53. He might get his laps back, not exactly sure. We'll have to see. Kurt Scott still hanging on, 0.34 behind. It's been like that for plenty of laps by now, and he's still keeping that time up, and it's not seeming to waver too much in terms of his laps each lap, because he's sticking along with that 68. I think right now he's just going to keep his car where it's at, and he's going to see what he can do here at the end. And it looks like Aiden will get his laps back, or at least some of them, because he was a lap down going through the pits. Well, I mean, a lap down on the racetrack. Looks like they're stopping at 6. Not sure if that's confirmed. Nope, goes down to 5. Okay. Ooh, Kurt actually gained that time. By a 100th of a second, but that was still a gain. We'll have to see how that ends up. Johnny Gardner is able to extend his lead over the 24 by about 2/10, I should say. Let's take a helicopter ride here. So we watch the leaders battle it out for 1st and 2nd place. David Alvarez out in front. 15 of Kurt Scott behind. Kurt Scott winning the race last week at California. And then the week before then, David Alvarez won in the 68 at Atlanta, I believe it was, or Texas. Yes, it was Texas, sorry. We're about halfway through with this race. David Alvarez, Kurt Scott 2nd. Johnny Gardner 3rd, and we look at this battle, and 24 is trying to keep pace up with the 88. The 88's keeping a higher lane here than the 24, but he's not able to close in. I'm definitely sure that the damage has some sort of factor to that, but he is able to keep up with the 88, so they're about 8 seconds behind just because they're in a draft. So, but again, tough break for those guys. Ooh, the 15 actually closed up there that last lap. If they come across the line, we'll have to see how close it is now. I'll drop back a bit. He got really close there the last lap beforehand. Fortunately, slipped back just a bit. Looks like he gains a lot in the straightaways, but corners is about even. That might be pretty good for him. Allowed him to make a good run. Again, he closes it up just a bit, ever so slightly, but 15 is able to hang on. If he can get a good restart, if there's another caution, might be able to get this thing done. But it is still David Alvarez, the pole sitter for today, and everybody else. They're coming up on the 53 once again. Hopefully he learned his lesson not to block the leaders. Because, in all honesty, that was a pretty dumb move on his part. You could see the leaders coming up on him. And the leaders can definitely see him. David Alvarez. Coca-Cola scheme, he has some other schemes that he'll be running throughout the season, but that is his mainstay right now, Coca-Cola. It's a pretty simple scheme, but it works. It's elegant. Be on board as he comes up on lap traffic. Hopefully everything will remain calm this time around. 3 phases out of resistance once again. David gonna try to keep his distance away from him. 53 stays on the outside. Could see an entry going one, and it looks like they're getting around. No problem. Oh, the 53 got up into the wall there. Not sure if anybody noticed that, but he keeps it going. So, down a lap once again. 2 laps down. Right there you see the 3rd and 4th place. Keeping tightly packed to each other right now. Still not running as good as they want to. Ooh, the 24 looks down to the inside to make a run here coming off of 4. He might be able to do it side by side. They're coming close. They almost made contact there. Johnny Gardner is able to keep the lead there. He was going to try to block here going into turn 1. Nope, he gives the bottom up to the 24. Don't think the 24 is going to be able to make it stick though. He's going to come up here, going to try to get a side draft. Unable. Here they come through the dog leg. And the 15 is still 0.34 of a second behind. I don't know how he's able to keep up this pace so consistently, but he's able to. He just needs to find that magic way around this track and he'll be set. And they'll be catching up on the 3rd and 4th place cars here in just a moment. Probably about a couple laps or so. Thought I saw a car out there in front. So 4 cars on the lead lap. 1 2 laps down, and the other one retired early on. Guess you could call that a start and park. Kind of slipped back there that last lap. 68 is staying down to the bottom pretty well. See if that makes a difference for him. So we're past halfway here, coming up to lap 38. And we'll have to start worrying about pit stops here. These guys just did a pit stop not too long ago, but we should see around lap 45 or so the start of green flag pit stop cycles. Oh, actually, projected laps 18, and that was only a couple of laps ago they said that. So, actually, it might be around lap 55 or so. Or lap 50, really. That we'll see people come in. So, 68 laps here at Armory Digital, coming up on lap 39. And as you can see, these guys are slipping back more and more. I guess they're just hoping until once those green flag pit stops roll around, they'll still be on the lead lap. Or at least that they get a lap, but they're close behind in order so they can keep their lap. Although it's pretty much guaranteed at this point they will go a lap down. David Alvarez there. Roof here. Can't see their cars on the track, so they still got time. Stay away. 15 is doing a really good job keeping his car in that draft. Seems to go a little bit higher in the corners. If he could just stay down that blue line just a bit, might be able to make a better run through the turns. Of course, that's hard to do through turns 1 and 2, just how bumpy it is. Going up once not straight. Sorry about the hiccup there. As they go through turns 3 and 4. Through the tunnel turns, they make their way out onto the tri-oval. Well, not necessarily tri-oval, but dog leg. And again, that 68 is cutting corners just a bit more than the 15. He might have lost some time there. No, he didn't. But he's trying to find as fast of a way around here as possible. And so far, it's been working out for him. And here you see these two side by side. They're on the opposite ends of the speedway now. I think actually they might be able to keep their positions if they play their cards right. They won't go a lap down. At this point in the race, I don't think it really matters though. You see Aiden here. Those two have to catch up to him. We'll watch this as we already know what's going up there at the front. How this goes. It's 2 laps down. Bob to be to the top of the racetrack. Should be a clean pass, and it was. And he gets abducted by the UFO again. Nope, they didn't keep him. He's back. Down the backstretch into turn 3, into the tunnel turn. Kurt Scott making his way up there. He's still 0.35 behind. A little bit more behind than he was last lap, but let's see if he can get this time. Again, okay, you look there. You see how he's got those left side tires right on the apron. That's giving the 68 just a better corner overall. At 15. And actually, the 68, when he did that pit stop last, he only went in there for fuel. So his tires might be a little bit more worn than the 15. So if we saw him on fresher tires, I wonder what that would be for the 15 if he would slip back more. Let's see. Looks like the 88 and 24 have just completed their laps up here. See these guys through the dog leg. They're just about to catch up on them. David Alvarez still on front. The pole sitter for today, and that was a very close battle for qualifying between him and Sean Fay. And again, unfortunately, Sean Fay's hopes for a win today is pretty much all but gone. His luck could turn around in a freak event, but as it stands right now, not a very good race thus far. Sitting behind Valvoline, Chevrolet, Johnny Gardner. 88 usually driven by Rob Evans, his teammate. But Rob wasn't able to make it out tonight. Not sure if he's just using this car or anything like that, but maybe he's just relieving for him. 68 took a pretty high apex there going into turn 2. Looks like the 15 got a pretty good corner out of there, and it looks like it's paying off. He's 1.33 now. The highest he's gotten up was about 0.27, and then something happened to lose that ground. And it looks like he gained there going into turn 3, and he's holding that inside a little bit better. We'll see if it actually did make any difference. Come across the line? No. So the fastest lap so far, and Sean Fay in the number 24, just close behind at 3/100ths behind would be the 15 of Kurt Scott, who's running in second place conveniently right now. So as the race continues, looks like fuel strategy is going to come into play here. We're about to come up onto 20 laps to go here. Just a couple out. 22 laps to go. Alright, and this will be the final pit stop that these guys make unless there's a caution later on. I'll tell you what, they are just closing in on these guys back here. The 24 is losing his draft just a bit with the John Gardner. Looks like he's trying to keep there. I guess really at this point, these guys know that they're going to get laps, and they're just trying to stay out of trouble as much as they can. We should see these guys. Their rounds and pits. Alvarez, and it looks like he'll be able to pass the 53 once again. As they come through. They will. See him up there just a bit. Looks like before they make their rounds in the pit road, they're going to be passing another lap car. Is still running very consistent laps, but it's not paying off much for him. Hopefully he'll be able to make some adjustments in pits when that comes around. So it looks like these two are going to pit at the same time as each other. Make sure to look at that. Traffic and is gone. Nope, he's back. Looks like a bit of connection issue. by. 3 laps down. It's incredible how these guys are able to type in the chat while they're racing and still make consistent laps. Incredible, and it looks like that they're going to be pitting around this time. So we'll be able to look out for that, and that will be good news for these guys because they'll be able to stay on the lead lap just a bit more. They're probably going to abuse that as much as they can to keep whatever positions they can. See if they can lap them maybe. Because it takes a while for these guys to get up to speed, especially with this long racetrack. And there they go, into the pits. 15 really cooking it in there, but he's able to get it slowed down to 65 just in time. And so now the question is, what are these guys going to do? How is their fuel looking, and what will they do to counter this? Will they stay out for a couple more laps? Coming up here on turn 4, let's see if they make their rounds, and he goes in. Sean Fay goes down and also does. Oh, and the 24 skidded in, slid around. Not a very good entry for him, but it doesn't look like he lost much. He was already going to get tires anyways. So, and there's David Alvarez. Off he goes. Kurt Scott gets a jump in ahead of him. There they go. Making their rounds through the pit carousel. So now, it's going to be a battle between Kurt Scott and the 68 of David Alvarez for first spot. And that will be the battle that will decide everything. So these guys are all by themselves, and they're going to have to catch up to each other. The 68 is quite a ways behind. So it'll be a while before he catches up to Kurt Scott. But Kurt Scott back out in front in the number 15. This could be a very good comeback for him. The number 15, Kurt Scott, who won last week. We'll see if he can make it 2 in a row in the main NASCAR series. Won at California. Now he's going to try to win this. Now look at the miles per hour difference here. 182, 185, 186. That's about a 3 miles per hour difference here. Coming up on Sean Fay here. So that will definitely affect Kurt Scott. And it looks like the 68 is closing in ever so slightly. But he's still got a long ways away. He's about 4 seconds behind. He's probably going to be about 3.5 this time. And the 24 is staying on the outside. Going to try to not obscure the 15's path. I would have expected the 15 to try to take a bit of a draft off of the 24, but he stays down to the inside. The 68 gained a second there at last time. He's catching up. So now it'll be up to the 15 to make sure he doesn't pass him. And there you saw Johnny Gardner is also going to, and it looks like the 24 is going to try to give a shove to Kurt so he can keep the lead. Remember, those two teams that they're running for, Kurt Scott Motorsports and Sean Fay Motorsports, are in conjunction with each other. Not necessarily teammates, but they do share info between one another. We'll see how big the gap has been. 2.48 behind. The 68 is closing in ever so slightly, looking from the roof camera. He's got them in sights, plain as day. This could be really bad for Kurt. Wonder if the 24 will do any sort of blocking for him. Johnny Gardner Still there, not a lap down yet. And all those guys are still way back there, so he's still got plenty of time to keep his car clean and maybe keep himself under a lap. 1:45. Oh my goodness. That 68 is closing in fast. He's closing in on the 24 right now. And the 24, lap down, gets passed by the 68. Now, David Alvarez sets his sight on the leader. How will the 15 react? Oh man, he's right there. Here we go. Look from the helicopter as they come around. He tries to block. Oh, he bumped. Wow, he kept him behind. David Alvarez, I think he got a little bit of damage there on his nose. But he stays out in front. The 15 stays out in front as they head down into turn 1. Blocking the outside. Now moves back to the bottom. The 68's going to make a move on the outside. What a block as they go through the turns. Tries to keep him behind. That's going to leave the door open on the inside. The 15 moves him all the way to the outside, forcing him up the track. Oh, the 68 has a better run, though. Dives down into the corner. Into turn 3 and 4. Going to try to make a run off of 4. Still side by side. That's not a good sign for him at all. And the 88 of Johnny Gardner is right there as they come down through the dog leg. And David Alvarez recovers the lead and the number 68. 11 laps to go at Armory Digital Superspeedway. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this might be it. Unless something happens to that 68, if the 88 somehow interferes with this, this could be your race order. Going down into turn 3 this time. Lap traffic won't be a factor. Off of corner number 4. 15 trying to keep everything he can to stay behind the 68. Try to get a run somehow. He's going to have to push from the 88 momentarily. Don't think it'll be enough though. Kurt Scott was just a bit faster going through that corner. Let's see if he can somehow make his way up to the 68, make this a more interesting battle. 10 to go. He's about as far behind as he was the last time. Looks like he gained a little bit there going into 3. Let's see if he loses it. 188, 188. They are identical this time around. Off the corner, still 189 as they go down. David Alvarez still on front. 0.34 once again. Not even a little bit faster that time than the 68. He might actually be able to catch up to him. 9 laps to go. Oh, I think he hit the apron just a bit. Uh-oh. Looked like he hit the apron there just a bit. That might have affected his car. We'll have to see. Trying to make a lower entry going in. See if that helps him out. He's just a bit slower than the 68. 8 laps to go. This time. As they come across the line. 7 laps when they come around back. Going through turn 2 right now. Looking from above the carousel. Out of turn 2. Down the backstretch. The long backstretch. Very wide as well. 15's going to try everything he can to get a run at any sort of point around this track. But will it do much for him? 53 down on pit road. 7 laps to go. Does the 15 have anything left? He moves up to the outside. Oh, okay. That was a little bit of a high entry there. Don't know if he's just giving up now or what. 53 comes back out into the track. Hopefully he keeps his distance between everybody. Yes, he does. 2 cars left on the lead lap to decide it all. Six laps to go. Kurt Scott in the 15, trying to go for 2 in a row in the main NASCAR series. Still running consistent lap times, but just not enough to contend with that 68. It's incredible just how even these guys are, but they're not able to get any sort of gain on each other. Looking from high above, David Alvarez looks like he's extending his lead just a bit. Could we see a 0.35 here? Kurt Scott. 68 just seems to be cornering just a little bit better than that 15. And of course, the 15 was plagued by that early wreck with the lap car of Aiden Fife. And so that definitely contributed to his car not working just as well as it could. But for what it's worth, he is still hanging on. Sean Fay, unfortunately, the other one involved, is now in 4th position, and it'll probably be his final position. Coming to 4 to go this time as they head down across the line. Kurt Scott trying to find any sort of thing to make this outcome a little bit more in his favor. But as it stands right now, David Alvarez has the best car out here. 15 is just riding along. Off the corner, into the dogleg once again. 3 laps to go. This might just be it. The 15 is slowly moving back. Not getting as good of lap time as he should. So that might spell the end for him. I believe David Alvarez is going to be running the dirt race tonight as well, so be sure to tune into that, which will be happening about an hour after this race ends. I'll be at Bloomington Raceway. 2 laps to go at Armory Digital Superspeedway. The Xbox One X 174 is about to end. And what a good day for David Alvarez. Been wanting a super speedway win for a while for his team, Armory Motorsports, and it looks like that dream will come true today. Sean Fay, the 4th spot. Aiden Fife, 53. Johnny Gardner, 3rd. Kurt Scott, 2nd. David Alvarez, 1st. That'll pretty much be final running. Here we go. Coming to the white flag this time. as they see them head down. White flag, last lap for David Alvarez in the number 68. Down the backstretch. David still has the lead, and I think that he'll be able to keep it. Here we go, going through turns 3 and 4. I think that'll be it. And coming down to the line, David Alvarez wins the Xbox One X 174 at Armory Digital Superspeedway. And congratulations to Alvarez Motorsports on their first Superspeedway win and main NASCAR series. The 4th race of the main NASCAR series schedule is over. Next week at this same time, we will be having the NASCAR Thunder 114 at Sawmill Speedway. So be sure to tune into that. Again, congratulations to David Alvarez on his win today. As he makes his way onto the front stretch, we'll see him do some burnouts. Here he comes up onto the line. Gonna try here, maybe. It's not working out for him very well. There he goes. Right across the Microsoft logo that is extremely pixelated, but we'll ignore that. Across the 500, that is not our race, but the Xbox One X part is true. We'll also ignore that shameless plug of the NASCAR Bud Light Truck Series. Not sure what that's all about, but that's definitely not Rubbin and Racin Motorsports. And across the grass, once again. Well, this is the move that won it. Moving to the outside of Kurt Scott, down the back stretch. Heading down towards turn 3. And you're going to see that 15, he drops all the way down. Going to try to get as much as he can. He hits the apron. Just not enough. And once they come off this dog leg here, the 68 will be through to the lead. So again, congratulations to him. Don't go away too far just yet. We're going to be doing the Supreme All Dirt Slugfest at Bloomington Raceway. So be sure to check that out. Just about around 9 o'clock. Come around at about like 8:45. We'll get the broadcast started, and we'll see you then. Until then, I'm Jimmy Powell, your main commentator for this series. We'll have Sean Fay on for the dirt race tonight. And we'll see you all until then.